be the 49ers breakout player this summer?
And
define what you mean by breakout player.
I just mean somebody that you absolutely were not counting on, and that player then not only makes the roster, but plays a significant role on the roster.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because there's different levels of this stuff. As far as who's likely to make it, who's likely to everybody. There's just the young guys. It could be an undrafted guy. I like Quantrez Knight. I know that's crazy because he's an undrafted guy out of UCLA who I like Quantrez Knight. I just think Knight, he's instinctive. He's played a bunch of different positions. He's experienced. He'll bring down athletes in open space. He's good against the run, smart player. He can play nickel corner. I just think in a world where the NFL goes nickel and dime, huge percentage of the time, I think a player like Quantrez Knight's got value. I think he's going to make the team and play a role.
Can I tell you something about him that you may not know or that might make you happy?
Sure.
Okay, so at this rookie minicamp, I'm expecting Sam Womack to be the nickel. He wasn't. He played only outside, and the nickel was Quantrez Knight. So, I mean, he
that's
didn't
a
dominate.
need. That's a need, right?
Yes. So he could make the team. Absolutely. There is absolutely a path for him to make the team if he plays well. So that's a great one.
Yeah.
Last year, I guess it would have been, I mean, people said Trent Sherfield, but he didn't end up doing anything. I think it would have actually been Aziz Al-Shayer. And maybe I can't tell. I can't tell that a linebacker is about to go off because they don't hit in practice. But I think it was probably him because everyone thought he would be sort of like a part-time player after Dre Greenlaw, and he was way better than Dre Greenlaw.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Aziz Al-Shayer might be their best linebacker.
I agree. Hot take.
There are people, Fred Warner, right?
He hits harder than Fred Warner. He runs faster than Fred Warner. Warner used to be the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, but that wasn't the case last year. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Pretty good player. Pretty good linebacking core.
Okay, let me think of one more guy.
Yeah, who's your guy? Who do you think breaks out in any way, shape, or form? The other guy that I would go with, and it's not just because I like the nickname. I love me some Tay Martin. I like Big Play Tay from Oak State. He's 6'3". He's got long arms. He's got good ball skills. He's not fast, but he's quick. And I think there's Kendrick Bourne-like potential there, but even maybe a little bit better. So I like Big Play Tay Martin from Oak State.
I don't think Drake Jackson's going to have a huge offseason just because he's young. I think he's going to be a kind of guy who comes on later in the year if he comes on. But I've known Kyle Shanahan a little bit. He often signs a guy in free agency, and people are like, "Why did you like this guy?" And then he kind of has this chip on his shoulder to prove that he was right. This guy's good. I have a vision. And this year, the guy that kind of raised eyebrows was Ray Mcleod. They gave him a lot of money, and people were like, "That's a lot of money for a return specialist who runs a 4.5." He's like, "Oh no, he's going to be a key part of our offense." So I don't know if he actually will be a key part of the offense in games, but I have a feeling in OTAs and minicamp and training camp, he's going to get a lot of usage. He's going to get for whatever reason, and you're going to see a lot of rave reviews you're going to see a lot of interviews with Ray Mcleod where he talks about how his whole life built up to this moment. And I'm just saying, Ray.
Hold on to the ball, Ray. He got 6 fumbles last year, didn't he?
Absolutely. And hold on to the ball, Ty Davis Price, because if you don't, Elijah Mitchell's taking your spot because he never fumbled the ball ever.
At the end of the day, what was the line from what was it? No block, no rock. Was that Danny Gray said that this weekend?
Yeah, I like that.
No block, no rock.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Breakout player. Anyone else you got? Anyone else you could think of? Someone on the offensive line is going to have to step up and take a job.
Yeah, I like Jalen Moore. I don't know what happened. You were there a good portion of what happened to Jalen Moore? Why did Jalen Moore go from looking like almost like a plug and play week 1 starter throughout the preseason to at the end of the year, we were told he was going to get 50% of the snaps with Tom Compton and he didn't get any. So something happened between preseason and the end of the year where Jalen Moore, in the eyes of the offensive line coach or the offensive staff, lost a lot of face. I got to think Jalen Moore, if my eyes told me in the preseason, this guy can play. He can play guard, he can play tackle, he can play right side, he can play left side. He may not be all pro, but he can play. He's an NFL starting offensive lineman. And then he just didn't play. So I'm expecting him to be good this summer.
The way I remember it, I could be wrong. In preseason, he was the starting left tackle, right?
I thought so. For
he
like most
starting left tackle because Trent Williams wasn't playing, and he was good. He really put out good tape in preseason. Then when McGlinchey went down, I think they gave him the first crack at replacing him as starting right tackle. And if I remember correctly, they benched him at halftime of his first start. And if I remember correctly, I went back and watched the tape. He got his ass kicked.
Who was that? Do you remember that team who they played that day?
It might have been the Rams. Hold on. Let me check. Let's get it right.
Because you're talking about a guy who played good football in college.
Yeah.
Looked great at the Senior Bowl.
Yes.
They drafted him, looked great in camp. Yes. Then played left tackle the majority of the preseason and looked, rookie left tackles is baptism by fire typically. It was not that. He looked totally like he belonged.
Okay.
And then by the end of the year, he's not playing at all.
It was against the Rams. I want to say, hold on. He played 19 snaps against the Rams. They benched him. He started the next game against Jacksonville and played 65% of the snaps. I don't know. I think basically what they did was they platooned him and Tom Compton at first. And they just felt that Tom Compton was better. And I think on film he was. Tom Compton was not bad last year. He was bad in pass protection, but as a run blocker.
Yeah, as a run blocker, he was good.
Really good. Yeah. He was good. So I think that's kind of what
guard happened. Playing tackle or right tackle, and he was blowing people off the line. So I get it, but
he was getting downfield better than
not only was a street free agent, he's also a free agent at the end of the year, and he's on another team now. And you could have invested those snaps into Jalen Moore. Now you might have a little bit more solidified O-line going into this year, but instead you go to camp with Banks and Moore being pretty much unknown still.
Yes, ditto for the quarterback position. Kurt the Chameleon says, Grant, you're going to hate me for this, but I'm thinking 12-5 purely based on defense. Just think they'll be ranked high again. Yeah, this is a defense that was top 5 last year without Drake Jackson or D Ford, without Travarius Ward or Jason Verrett. They could essentially have a second really good corner and a second really good edge rusher. That would make an excellent defense way better.
You added Ward and a second-year Hufanga, I think, as starters to the secondary. You're stacked at linebacker with fast guys, and you're even more stacked on the D-line despite losing DJ Jones. I guess my big question on the D would be how good are they against the run right at them in the A-gaps? How good can Kinlaw stay healthy enough to be, an interior run plugger? Because that's what he is.
If you can't stop the run up the A-gap in the wide 9 defense, you're screwed.
It's a long day.
It's a long day because it's just one guy getting double teamed, and if he's getting pushed left and right, you can't stop the run. You can't. Your linebackers are getting blocked. It's bad. So DJ Jones could do it. We'll see if Kinlaw can. Anyway,
Kalia Davis, by the way, is a rookie that I really love, but I don't know if we'll even see him this year.
I doubt it. But Hassan Ridgeway's here. If Chris Kasarik likes him, I think he could probably. Is he more of a pass rusher though? Is he a little smaller?
I think so. I think he's got quick feet and he gives you a little interior rush, but he's a little bit better against the run than Street was, I think. Okay.
Is he more of an Arden Key replacement than DJ Jones replacement?
Well, I don't. He's a tackle for sure, but he's and he's a 310-pound big tackle. But he's not Arden Key, but he's not as nearly as functionally strong as DJ against the run. I think they take a step back there, which is why they need Kinlaw to step up and be that unbelievable force because he's got that ability to do it.
Okay. Well, that'll wrap it up for this week. Next week, the Niners have their first week of OTAs. We'll actually be able to talk about what it looks like with Trey Lance taking all the first-team reps for the first time in his career. We'll have some other things to talk about as opposed to theoretical stuff.